This week on Across the Arrowverse, we go back to Arrow through every season on some sort of victory lap. It's Arrow Season 8, Episodes 1 to 7. Hi everybody, and welcome to Across the Arrowverse. I'm Matthew Vose.
And I'm Catherine Vose.
This week we're covering the start of Arrow Season 8 up to Crisis. Catherine, you've actually watched Arrow?
Yeah.
For the first time in quite a while now?
Yeah, I don't know. When did I start? I certainly didn't watch last season. I don't think I watched the season before.
But...
I may have tapped out the season before that.
Right. Okay.
So, we'll see.
Okay. What's been your feeling on it so far?
It was very Arrow. But...
In its good points and its bad points?
In its good points and its bad points. I mean,
okay.
I'm actually quite interested as to how much it has got its own feel and its own style.
Right.
And actually, I mean, all joking aside, by saying it was very Arrow, I wasn't being, oh God, it's awful. It's just, it's got a very different feel and a very different colour palette, almost, to the other Arrowverse shows.
Right.
It would be quite interesting to get them to do, I don't know, random 10 minutes of set film cells for each of the shows and put them next to each other, because the Arrow ones will be significantly darker
possibly so, yeah,
than the others,
and one palette, I think, or one set of colours, where the others have that fantastical blues and reds and lightning and flying through the skies and so on. Arrow is meeting and in rooms.
Yeah, and it's dark. They do a lot of fighting in the dark.
They do indeed.
I mean, the fighting is amazing. They have got some very good stunt choreographers in Arrow.
Absolutely. We've always said that's the thing that this show stands out on. And the
Yes.
action is really good. And I feel like the house style is now so part of it. Like
So polished.
In previous seasons, you sort of felt it changing slightly as they've gotten to grips with handheld camera work, multiple things going on at the same time. It's that fight over and over again now. But it is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also thought it was interesting that, like, politician Oliver Queen has been beaten down.
Yeah.
And we are now back to, I am Arrow.
Yeah, okay, so, like, the plot of Arrow Season 8 is preparing for Crisis.
Yes.
Even more than Flash was.
Yeah, I mean, and it's overt about it.
Yeah.
It's almost the computer game version of preparing for Crisis.
Right.
Go over here, get these dwarf star particles.
Yeah.
Go over here, get this scientist.
Get a key to unlock a door that allows you into the next area.
Yeah.
So we thought Arrow was not going to be renewed for Season 7, and we were amazed it was renewed for Season 8.
Yes.
Is there something in this that they've renewed it for Season 8 with we can keep it fairly cheap, we can use stuff we've done before, and we can use this to enhance the crossover?
Yeah, I mean, it very much is building. It is prelude to the Crisis.
Yeah.
They've showed us for the first time what the Crisis would mean with the destruction of Earth 2.
Yep.
I still don't know why the Crisis is happening, and actually I want to touch on that again.
Okay.
But we've seen what Crisis does and why it's so important that if not stopped, then they can protect at least something from the Crisis. There's definitely a lot of Oliver Queen's going to die. Mm-hmm. Or is he?
In a different way than they did it in The Flash,
Yes.
I feel like.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just accepted. And this is all now borrowed time for him.
Yeah.
Which I've kind of dug. It would have been very easy for us to look at them going, oh, they should have worked together and figured that out. I feel like they have. I feel like they've done something significant with it.
Yes, maybe. I don't know how cheap it would have been. They've gone to an awful lot of different sets, unless they kept those sets.
Well, exactly. It's the same sets. It's like, we're spending a lot of time in the police building and a lot of time in the bunker, which is both in the past and the present, in the future and the present.
They did I mean, I didn't watch it, but I suppose they had Lian Yu last season as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like Lian Yu had to be sort of demothballed from the very start.
I'm pretty sure Lian Yu is a location.
Yeah.
And, all the cave locations they use for Nempar Bet. This kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, yes. It really was a best of the Arrow, though, wasn't it?
Wasn't it?
I mean, it's almost like that cheesy last season of Parks and Rec.
Oh, yeah.
This is if you've ever acted on the Arrow,
yep,
with a notable exception that we will come to later, you can have a cameo. I've just been like looking through the sort of the synopses of the episodes that we watched. Yep. I'm just like, we're literally doing a best ofs tour, aren't we?
And it's almost season by season, which I think if they weren't doing that, I'd be like, this is slightly weak source writing. They're just saying, hey, what if we did The Undertaking again, but on Earth 2? What if we did the stuff in Hong Kong again? But the fact they're doing it in order in most of it, like, okay, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And do you know what? I've quite enjoyed it.
Okay.
I've quite enjoyed seeing the old characters. Like, I really enjoyed a lot of what they did on Earth 2. Mm-hmm. And, like, there was... I can't remember what the scene was, but there was a point where Oliver and Tommy were sitting on the sofa being told about the Arrow and the Dark Hood, or whatever it's called, having a fight the night before. And I was like, do you know what? This is kind of cute.
Yeah.
It's quite nice. But I've just watched 7 episodes of Arrow.
Okay.
My favourite person in Arrow
yep.
wasn't in a single one of those episodes.
No. Okay, so let's talk about Felicity.
Where?
Emily Bett Rickard said she was not coming back for season 8.
Oh, really?
This is on the actress, I think, for
Really?
wanting to walk away with it. And I suspect when she decided to do that, she... it's a lot of work, these shows, and she is in all of them. So I think she'd made that decision and has stuck to it, although I suspect she might guest star in one of the last 3 episodes of the series she was in for 7 years. I suspect we might see her somewhere, but she's, you're absolutely right, she's not in the majority of episodes.
Yeah. Oh, I hope she does.
But I don't know that I haven't missed her, because they've covered for it, particularly bringing William to the past has been very clever. I feel like they've not made me think about her missing, except for the end of that last episode in episode 7. And that was the first time you had mentioned her. You suddenly went, oh, that's who we're missing.
No, you're right. And actually, to a certain extent, I think her presence could have been a complication that was not needed in what has been a very, very plot-full of 7 episodes. We didn't necessarily need the complications of having Felicity in there. Doesn't mean I don't want to see her again.
No, absolutely. And when you think, oh, hang on, one of the main characters has not been in it, it does feel a bit funny. But only that moment. I mean, I'd thought about it because I knew this was a thing. So I was like, right, we'll talk about it on the podcast. So I was purposely not mentioning it.
Yeah.
And it was only that point that you picked up on it. So whatever they did in mentioning her and because they have mentioned her elsewhere.
Mm. I mean, I think it's because it is plausible that she would not be around, because at this point she's off in a cabin in the wood raising a baby on her own, isn't she?
Absolutely, yeah.
So it is very plausible that she's not there.
Yeah. Except that last episode where everyone gets back together again, including Roy.
What? Right.
Yeah.
I like Roy. We both like Roy.
We love Roy. We love the actor.
Character.
He is a great inclusion to this series. Right.
But he basically contributed nothing and then had his arm cut off. Right. I'm like, really? So, unless they're building a new show where Roy gets to be in it with a bionic arm, I don't see the purpose of doing that.
Me neither. And it's unfair to say that. You're absolutely right. Unfair to say anything about it when we haven't seen the last 3 episodes. So it could be him having his arm back is something done by or a bionic arm or something, as you say, by another show, a demonstration of their ability, something like that.
Maybe there's some timey-wimey resetting as part of Crisis.
The monitor does
and he gets to, and his arm comes back, yeah.
But at the moment, it feels like I don't understand why he didn't join them for that mission and then disappear, like everyone else has done. All these guest stars.
Yeah, I mean,
So
even
random.
Thea hardly got. I mean, she got an episode.
Yeah,
but given how big she was and how important she was in earlier seasons, it was quite a light touch.
She's the one I'm surprised who hasn't come back.
Yeah,
but again, I like the actress. I like what she does in it. So, yeah, it's been interesting seeing them all come and go.
Yeah.
In different things. The other one that did occur to me is the chap who plays Slade. Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Has been referenced a lot. We even had a guy in his sort of mask, but we haven't seen him. So I wonder if the actor was not available.
Yeah, quite possible. And I guess if he's playing a character that you can just stick a mask on a much cheaper actor, you can cover for that.
Exactly. Because I don't mind not having Prometheus, and I don't mind not having Diaz and people show up. We had so much of them in recent seasons.
And you can't have everyone.
Well, they tried.
They did try, but So I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Firstly,
right.
Broad question. Of the 7 episodes, which was your favourite? Of course, I get a head start on this, having just read the plot synopsis for all 7.
Okay, so you've reminded me that we've not done episode titles, which we do on these. So the episodes that we're talking about are Starling City, Welcome to Hong Kong, Leap of Faith, Present Tense, Prognost, Reset, and Purgatory.
Yeah.
I mean, I like a time loop, but that was not very well done. Because you play with the time loop more if you're doing it, and they did not play with the idea of the time loop, which was a shame.
No, he was just grunting all the way through.
It was like and they set up things with the waitress that he knocks over, and
it's not Happy Death Day.
You see it changing each time. Yeah, exactly. There are nice ways of doing it that make it funny and make it accessible and so on. They just didn't touch any of that, which was a shame. The Russian one was fine. Hong Kong one was utterly forgettable. It's probably the first one.
Okay.
It's probably that opening episode, Earth 2, Starling City, Tommy. I thought the action was excellent. I thought it allowed us to do some interesting alternate world stuff, what might have happened in these other things. And it was interesting, him just being the Arrow and working again. Because, exactly like you said, we've not seen that in so long.
Yeah.
He's been the prisoner or the fugitive or the mayor or the, other shows with the something in the title. Prisoner, the fugitive, and the... I can't think of another one. The Ellen DeGeneres show. I don't know. But so... I think it was quite nice just seeing that and just having that bit of fun. I don't think any of the others have stood out quite as strongly as they should have. How about you, though?
I quite enjoyed the Russia one.
Okay.
I don't know why I enjoyed the Russia one, but I think I always liked the Bratva.
Okay.
And I liked Anatoly as a character.
Right.
I was a bit sad when he was enemies with Anatoly for a while.
Okay, yeah. So this might be the thing with having watched the Diaz seasons.
Yeah.
I'm sort of over the Russian stuff.
Oh, fair enough.
Because it has gone on for so long and been in most seasons, so it feels a little... Okay, we're back in Russia again.
Whereas I've not seen him for a little while. Yeah. And I enjoyed him training Mia.
Yes.
I like that. I enjoyed the whole joking about dislocating his thumb, and then being rescued 10 seconds later. It's you'd have been all right, mate. Yeah. I bet you've got some sore thumbs now. I enjoyed Mia showing what she could do, but also getting better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I quite enjoyed the Russia one, but I did like the Earth 2 one as well.
So let's talk about the future kids.
Yeah.
Because the plot bit in the future was pretty much a waste of our time. It felt pretty light. Yeah,
and I mean, I feel a bit sorry for what's his face, Crazy Dog's daughter,
Zoe.
Mm-hmm. Like, didn't she get to come back and play in the past? Because she seems to be just very Oh, she's there and now she's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
I also thought Diggle and Layla seemed to be fairly quick to get over the fact that their biological son turns out to be some gangland kingpin. They're like, oh, well, that sucks. Right. Oh, and we've never met you before, but yes, now you're our son.
Yeah. Well, okay, so the whole thing in the Hong Kong one about the woman with the kid, that's JJ. That's the kid they adopt.
What, Connor? Or JJ? I'm confused as who is
there.
So,
no, I've got the names the wrong way around.
Yeah.
I thought that kid was Connor.
Yes, I think it is. And that's certainly what the plot synopsis that I've just read
seems
seems
to
indicate.
Okay, so...
So why
So
aren't
they know the
remembering
kid,
that?
and for whatever reason, they adopt him. Presumably the mother dies or something happens, but that's not explored, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved bringing them into the present. I really liked that.
I do, and I think it gave us a lot of... I mean, I think they've held true to Oliver Queen's character, because the whole, the whole thing right from the very beginning is his default behaviour is to try and do things on his own,
right?
And what we've seen in this bit of the season is him trying to protect his kids on his own without actually involving his kids in that discussion or conversation for a while, and that sort of making the relationships not work so well, and then him getting over that and everyone talking and the relationship bit goes better.
Right.
And it's a bit trite.
Yeah.
But it holds true.
It's fairly hand-wavy magic, the fact they're in the present.
Yeah, because we've not had any sort of explanation as to why or how.
No.
I'm just assuming that the monitor, who now apparently has a name...
Marnovu.
I thought they were calling him Mark Nouveau at some point. Marnovu,
yeah.
Marnovu.
Okay.
Right.
He's always been called that.
Has he?
He introduced himself as that in the beginning. Yes.
Oh,
okay,
over
good.
my head. Woof,
Good.
Whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, I think they mentioned that it was the monitor. Oh, the monitor must have brought us together, but there's been no reason behind it. And I'm sort of hoping there will be. And I'm a little bit worried there won't. And it will just be, let's hope people don't pay attention to it because we wanted this to happen.
Yeah. Their plotting mastery is not that of the writers of Sherlock, shall we say. So yes, I think they're just like, oh, well, this is like a multiverse where anything can happen. So, this is just going to happen.
I mean, I'm pleased. This might be part of the reason why I'm pleased for it. It meant we didn't have any more of that future plot line, which was just... Okay, so this is just Arrow at this stage. With different characters. And
I find the stuff in the future a bit depressing. It's like how hard they've fought, how many travails they've had, and yet the world is just as bad as it ever was.
Exactly. So
that's just miserable, isn't it?
And if there's going to be a thing now where the actions that have happened by them coming back means their future is better, and we do get some sort of spin-off in the future, some sort of Canary Club spin-off thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Right, what else have I said? Okay. Question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Oliver's actually going to die?
It's really hard because Arrow has 2 episodes after Crisis. So you'd sort of say no, but also the show has to end.
Yeah.
I want him to. I think him giving his life for something larger than himself is how this show ends.
Yep.
I don't think it's as good as something like Angel that would do, and the fight always goes on. Part of that is because Angel's immortal, so you can do the fight always goes on.
Yeah.
You can't do it when you've been doing it for 8 years, and you were 30 to begin with, Yeah.
You've got sore knees now.
Exactly.
Haven't we all, Stephen? Haven't we all?
So, I think that would be a good thing if it's some sort of sacrificial thing.
Yeah.
And part of that is some mystical, he gets to go and say goodbye to people over the course of 2 episodes. And some of those episodes are in the future. So he reappears as the spirit of Arrow's past to teach a lesson to...
Who's Bob Marley?
Well, exactly. I don't know, Catherine, who is Bob Marley?
I don't know.
Because John Diggle would be his Jacob Marley, wouldn't he? Yeah, good. Do you think? Not Stephen Amell. I don't think Stephen Amell is not going to die if we're all lucky. Do you think Oliver Queen is going to die?
I think he is going to die, but I think it's going to be linked up with Barry Allen surviving,
right?
Albeit the Flash may no look by dying. Yeah. I think there's going to be a Stephen Amell. Not Stephen.
It's because you said Stephen. It threw me entirely.
An Arrow additional level of sacrifice that saves Barry Allen.
Right. Okay.
That's my prediction.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I might just be making stuff up.
Be interesting to see.
So lighter,
right,
but still important.
Okay.
New Laurel, super cool.
Yep.
Lila as the Harbinger, super cool.
Yep.
Discuss.
Yeah, absolutely. it is like we've always liked dark Laurel.
Yes.
Earth 2 Laurel has always been good.
Much better than soppy Laurel.
God, she was awful. But between her and Iris, this show had a problem with its female leads
at the start. Yeah.
Yeah. However, obviously Iris has been one of our favourites the last couple of seasons. Yep. 2 or 3 seasons, in fact. I can't believe it's taken them 8 seasons to get the character right, to get the action of the character right, to get the characterization right, and to get the look right.
But they have.
Suddenly, it's all in place now.
Yeah. So very much liking New Laurel. I also liked the Laurel angst about Earth 2 disappearing. Felt genuine. I genuinely thought she might betray him, but then she couldn't. I liked the fact that she was able to get closure with Quentin.
Yep.
All good.
It feels like what they've not been able to do in Legends of integrating past villains as heroes.
Yeah.
Like Rory and Wentworth Miller, whose name I can't remember, just kind of became good.
Yes.
You know, Mick Rory is a bit of a what's it, but largely he's good now.
Yeah.
And that's just it. Laurel does good things and knows the right thing to do, but is a prickly customer and is not happy about it.
Yes.
And it feels well written. It feels well delivered from Katie Cassidy. And like I said, it's just, how has it taken them this long to get there that everything has fallen together for this character? It's wonderful.
But it definitely works.
Yeah. And also the Lila. So did you know anything was coming with Lila?
Lila's always just been a background character to me, so I didn't know anything. I've not seen anything in advance, and Lila's kind of just a bit of furniture for most of the time. That's very hard, and
she's a very useful gimmick.
Clearly, in this season, there is more that she can do. But I always feel of Lila, I was like, oh, we need a certain thing to happen in the plot. Oh, I know what, we can wheel out Lila and Argus and make it happen.
Absolutely.
It's just like, oh.
Yeah. And then suddenly she's in league with the Monitor.
I know.
Which is interesting.
Sneaky sneakerson.
And turning up in her superhero costume.
Her superhero costume is very cool.
Yeah?
I like it.
Why have you responded to it so strongly?
I don't know.
Oh.
But it looks very cool.
Nice. Is it just because they've never given her a style, really? And
I think she's just been given a raw deal in terms of the character up till now. You know, she's always there, but she's there to be argued with or to be involved in a slightly sinister organisation or to provide them with intel or weapons. And I just... She's had the most dull character to play throughout the entirety of Arrow. Yeah. So I quite like that now she's got something that's a bit more interesting to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I liked all of her reasoning.
Yeah.
It all seemed to come together well. I fully support it, particularly from that character who, like you say, has been somewhat duplicitous.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Good.
I think that's all my questions. Was there anything I have not picked out that you think's worth talking about?
No, the main stuff for me was Felicity and the kids from the future.
Yep.
Particularly interested in them. And just this whole victory lap thing they seem to be doing. This let's go on a tour of our past.
Yeah.
And re-engage with it, which has been fine. But it's not a season unto itself. The comparison with Parks and Rec is absolutely bang on. You would not talk about that final season of Parks and Rec and go, oh, it's solid, I could just sit down and watch that. I mean, no, that's not fair. There are people who love that final season. It works for them. because that's what they go to TV for.
But it works for people who have watched all of the other seasons and love them.
Yeah.
And I think this also rewards people who saw those bits the first time.
Yeah. What's really interesting is it hasn't played with the wider DC universe. The reason I got you watching Arrow, you reminded me of this, it was like, oh wow, they've got Suicide Squad going on and a reference to Harley Quinn, and they've got characters from The Flash coming in before The Flash has even started. Like, this is doing bigger universe stuff. But yet in this, they haven't done any of that.
No, I think Quentin made a reference to that man in the red suit that runs really fast. I'm sure those were the words.
There was that, and there's a reference to Gotham and things. But
but those were the only brief references to anything outside. I mean, other than the Crisis itself, but anything outside Arrow.
But it's just been interesting how they've not used anything like that. So
I am more than ever looking forward to Crisis.
Okay.
I'm like, having seen that one in particular, because everything's all about Crisis, like, I am geared up for Crisis.
Okay. Are we going to try and watch Batwoman first?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Because I don't think Batwoman will mention Crisis at all. I think she will just be pulled into it.
Yeah.
They're just using one of her episodes for it.
That's fine.
Okay.
That's fine, but I do want to watch Batwoman.
Okay.
But do you know what? We're stuck at home. We got plenty of telly time.
There is lots of telly time. So, good. Any other conversations? Any pre-crisis conversations? We'll save them when we've got all our crisis clues in place.
Indeed.
Good. So that wraps us up for another week. If you have thoughts, questions or comments, you can use the hashtag ATAV on Twitter. Or you can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram as Eloquent Gushing. If you want to help support us, please check out our Patreon page where you can get access to exclusive content across all our shows. Go to patreon.com/eloquentgushing. And don't forget to visit the homepage, eloquentgushing.com, where you can find the other shows across the network and subscribe to our weekly newsletter with all the goings on. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you across the Arrowverse.
Across the Arrowverse is an Eloquent Gushing production. For more shows you'll love, please visit eloquentgushing.com.